What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just our culture, the areas and the ways in which we grew up, and now that we have access to everybody worldwide as far as the internet. But I'm telling you, man, black culture is incredibly toxic. And when I say toxic, I'll give you a few examples. But the thing that I see happening is that no matter how successful you become, no matter what space that you in, no matter if you're poor, rich, whatever, so on and so forth, at every level, you're always going to have people that want to see you fail. I don't like that, man. I don't like that. I don't like that crabs in the barrel mentality. I don't like that spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to hold people accountable, but it's another thing that, because like, for example, it's one guy, for example, that I used to see in every single chat. And no matter if I was talking about relationships or we talking about money, or no matter what the subject is, or if I'm excited about something that happened in my life and I'm sharing the good news with people on the internet, and I see this happen in other people's chats, right? But so I'm gonna just use myself as an example, and then I'm gonna tap into other spaces in order to emphasize my point. No matter what happens, you can get a car, pay off something, build a house, start a business, become successful, do great numbers, whatever it is, get a new job, get a promotion. Your daughter can graduate from one grade and going into high school, from middle school or something like that. It's one guy specifically that I would pay attention to, and he would be on my chats, and it would happen for months and months and months. And he would just be like something negative to say or something bad or whatever, right? And I remember one day I actually met him in person because he came to one of the meetups, and he expressed to me, and he's like, and I don't know why I didn't kick him out. And I think part of it is just because I say that if somebody is not disrespectful, then I like to make sure that I, let the chat do their thing, because the chats are a part of what it is that I do, especially as far as my live streams. And he came to one of the meetups and he was just like, no, I'm sorry. He didn't come to a meetup. I seen him in person because I said that I was going to be in a specific area. So it wasn't a meetup. It was just me being in a specific location. And he came to meet me or whatever. And so he led with, and the only reason I knew who he was is because he mentioned who his name was. And then he led with, yeah, man, I know I'll be hating on you in the chat, but I really like what you got going on. And it still was just like, when you meet him in person sometimes, and it was just so weird to meet people in person, because the energy that they have online is completely different than the energy that they have for you in person. And contrary to popular belief, I've never met a person that experienced me online, and I go out and I meet people all day, every day. I'm out, I'm public, I travel city to city, state to state, so on and so forth. Like, I'm not one of those people that just stay in a crib and have conversations and that's the end of the day. Like, I announce where I'm gonna be at and everything, right? And I've never ever met anybody that had any smoke for me in person, not even a disagreement with me in person. But what I believe is that what you express behind the screen is exactly how you really feel, but you're not gonna have that same energy when you get in front of people in person. And I see it, and it happens on a regular basis. You'll see certain people that comment or whatever like that, or even I'll see people, do live streams or whatever, or I'll see people comment on Instagram on certain posts or whatever that ain't even got nothing to do with me. And somebody can have some good news or whatever, and it's always going to be, every single time, a large portion of people that want to see somebody fail or want to see somebody absolutely go down in flames. And I can't understand that because it's just not in my spirit, right? Like, we all got people that hate, or we all got enemies and stuff like that. And that's just life, right? It comes with the territory of having some level of visibility. Even if you don't have visibility and just in your own household, like, that person that's in your family that when you show up to Thanksgiving dinner, they're going to be like, they're going to have something to say. They're going to say, oh man, I remember you used to be so stupid, or remember, they're going to bring up the times that you don't necessarily care for or things that you've evolved from. And I'm trying to understand this. So this is more of a conversation. So I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say in the chat. What I'm trying to understand is, what do you get out of it? Like, if you that type of person that like to have problems or trouble, or you want to see people fail, or it's not an ideal scenario for you or whatever, so on and so on, like, what do you get out of it? Like, what is the benefit from it? when you think about, okay, I'm gonna say something just to hate on a person, which it don't affect me because, I'm winning. And so every single year my life gets exponentially better than it was the year before. So, I'm not tripping about it. I don't see it as an incredibly bad thing. I'm the type of person that is negatively motivated. And so you actually pushed me to be even more successful than I would have been had you not hated on me. But I'm trying to understand, what is the benefit of it? What is the goal? Do you not want to see people successful? Were you trained to be that way? Is that normal for you? Are you just used to talking negatively or trying to talk down to people? And again, it's a difference between being passionate about something or having a fundamental disagreement. But if every single thing that you say, even when somebody is successful, you show up, and it ain't even like you don't show up because, okay, well, they did good, I ain't gonna say nothing. And I'm talking about the people in person. When you see people in your family and they just hate for no reason, and I don't understand it because I partially think it may be a little bit of jealousy or whatever, or when people rejoice in somebody failing or not being successful instead of being more encouraging. Why don't people want you to be successful? Is it that they don't want you to be more successful than them? Is it a competition? Is it something that was trained or taught to them? Is it just a part of the culture? And I'm genuinely curious because I have my thoughts, but at the same time, I'm more curious as to how you guys feel about the situation. I believe personally that to an extent, the majority of us are just cursed. I think we're cursed because jealousy, there is no rhyme or reason behind it because you don't benefit anymore as a result of somebody else failing. You're not going to get further in life, or girls ain't going to start liking you just because they don't like him. You just not going to be liked also. And so I don't understand it. Is it a process of elimination? And there is no rhyme or reason behind hate or jealousy. And so I just think that people may inherently be cursed. I think that they're cursed with the spirit that's on them, and maybe they need to pray it off of them. Maybe they need to figure out what their life is like or whatever. But the minute that you stop looking at things based off of that duress mindset, the minute that your life starts to take off. Now, again, you can have a fundamental disagreement with somebody, and that's not hating just because you got constructive criticism or you disagree or you passionate, right? We argue about a lot of stuff. We argue about finances. We argue about sports. We argue about all of that. And so let's not confuse disagreement with hate, because hate is inherently not wanting to see somebody successful, and it spills over into how you communicate and your spirit and all of that stuff. But I just think that Black people, and not all, but the culture, the mindset itself teaches you to be so much in competition with somebody, even when it doesn't necessarily hurt you or affect you, you still don't want to see them win. See, it's one thing to not want to see somebody win because it's only one trophy, right? It's another thing to not want to see somebody win because you just don't want them to win because for some reason you think that it takes away from what it is that you got going on. And I think that we need to get that up out of our spirit. I know that most people aren't. I know that most people can't see it. I know that it's going to be a thing. But then at the same time, again, just think about it. Everything that you do, how does it affect you? Even if I don't necessarily care for somebody, I don't want to see him fail. I don't want to see him go to jail. I don't want to see him crash. I don't want to see you homeless. I would never wish that on somebody. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird thing. I've even gotten to the point to where I'm so comfortable in my space and in my skin to where even people that don't like me, I just don't see them. I don't whatever filter that I have to do in order to remove myself, whether I got to block them or whatever, in real life and online, I just don't see it. It don't affect me because I want to stay in this mindset, this sweet spirit that allows for me to be more successful. And why would I let somebody, ruin my sentiment by being around that nonsense? So we got to start cutting these people off. We got to let them live in a space where they want to be together in their own little bucket with their own rest of their crabs, and let them crash the hell out. Let's not keep fighting them to do the thing that's in their own best interest. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of my mindset. I don't understand it. It's weird to me. I did a video the other day where I was breaking down and I was kind of highlighting and going over my build process, and I was showing people certain things or whatever. And people was just like, it's not even people. It's some people that was just like, it's weird. It's so weird to me. And if it's something that you don't think that I know, then give me the game so I can make an adjustment. I'm open. I'm open to learning or the possibility that I'm wrong or I can do it differently. I don't know. Listen, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.